We know the Chicago Bulls took a horrible loss last night versus the Dallas Mavericks, but before tip-off, we found out a little bit more about Lonzo Ball. Seems like Lonzo Ball just can't catch a break. And then after watching the game last night, I'm still scratching my head today asking, what is wrong with Ayo Dosunmu? I know we're going to talk about all that, plus a little bit more, but you know you got to hear the music first.
Cognac, gang.
Shy Boys Podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on today's daily episode. If you're tuned in for the first time, make sure you hit that like button. And for my people that's returning, welcome back to the show. Our Chicago Bulls, they look completely undermatched yesterday versus the Dallas Mavericks. But as previously noted and told, before the game tipped off, we heard from head coach Billy Donovan and Lonzo Ball. It's looking like Lonzo Ball is going to need a little bit more time before we see him back on the basketball court. And that got me with my hands up in the air like, golly, can this man just buy a break, please? It's still early in the season, but one has to still be a little bit frustrated with like the situation surrounding Lonzo Ball, but we do wish him well. Now, in that press conference before the game, Billy Donovan talked about Lonzo Ball injury and said a lot of things. He went on to say, end quote, I think we really dodged the bullet because that could have been a fracture very similar to Patrick Williams' situation. The swelling has gone down. He's still in the brace, and the splint is just going to be one of those things where it all depends on how long it takes to heal. I think they're going to be aggressive with this treatment and therapy, but cautious to do anything that will set him back. I think he had mentioned that if he gets going too soon and it's too early, that could be a problem. So right now we just playing the waiting game again, y'all. It is not the end, but man, is this another situation that leaves a lot of us frustrated? Yes, because me personally, as a fan of the Chicago Bulls, I would love to see Lonzo Ball play. And I am someone who likes Lonzo Ball's game. And I think that with the addition of Lonzo Ball, it helps the Chicago Bulls tremendously with whatever they're trying to do this season. You know what I mean? I'm happy it's not worse than what it really is, but it's hard to preach patience when we've seen this guy be down for 2.5 years, man. It's hard to preach patience with this fan base or even supporters. They get a little bit of, they start turning the other cheek, you know what I'm saying, because of the situation. We still rooting for the guy. I am personally, but it's just one of those situations that's a touchy situation when you talk about the injuries, because not only is it not the knee, you're like, damn, now it's the wrist. And you telling me that if this thing don't heal up correctly, there's a possibility that he has to go under the knife and receive surgery and he's done again? That's a thought that has to enter our mind. But I do understand right now, they stopped all basketball activity. They got it wrapped up, got it in a splint so it can try to heal on its own. Right now we don't know how long this is going to last. So we just sit right here and we chill and we root on Lonzo Ball to see if he can get back on the NBA court sooner rather than later. Now, don't get me wrong. I do want to make sure that he's 100% to go, but sooner rather than later. We'll just leave it at that. Now, last night, this game, after we heard the news about Lonzo, I don't know if the Bulls felt shaken or what. Maybe it was just the Dallas Mavericks that was too good for the Chicago Bulls last night. It was close for a few minutes, and that's all it was. Just a few minutes. Bulls tried to keep it entertaining early on, and then the wheels just kind of fell off. But one of the bright spots from last night's game was Montes Buzelis. My man's logged his season high, his career high, 23 minutes in the regular season, going 4 for 9 from the field, 3 for 4 from the three-point line, had 9 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block for 13 points. My man's filled up the box score. You got to show Montes Buzelis a lot of love. And this is why I'm going and saying that this is one of those moments to where I'm like, hey, the G League is maybe not that bad. And I'm not saying that he's going to go down there and spend a ton of games down there, but if there's a situation to where you running in and Lonzo Ball return, Zach LaVine, who is expected to return when he returns, It's still going to be some type of pull and tug when it comes to the minutes that's going to be available for Montes Buzelis, depending on what Billy Donovan wants to do. But sending him down to the G League just so he can get a run and, you know what I'm saying, kind of keep that rhythm and keep that basketball activity going resulted in the best game so far of his young career, in my opinion. It's still early on in his career, but this is the best I've seen Montes Buzelis since the start of the season. Like, you know what I'm saying? When he going out there, and it's hard to tell with 5 minutes here, 4 minutes there. But when you increase volume, when you increase minutes, and you give this young, talented kid some time, you can see what he can do. And yesterday, he did a little bit of everything. Got inside the paint, got a couple points, knocked down a couple three-point shots, rebounded what we absolutely need him to do with the size that he have. Even went out there and caused 2 steals and had a block on the game. Solid performance from this young Chicago Bull. Me personally, I'm looking at Dalen Terry and Julian Phillips. I'm kind of seeing some redundancy there. So I'm hoping that Billy Donovan continues to allow this young player to see a lot of minutes. I understand that Billy Donovan, for the start of the season, appeared to be seeing and believing that he trusts in Julian Phillips a little bit more than Dalen Terry and Montes. For the last few games, it seemed like Dalen Terry has been trusted a little bit more because of the things that he's been doing. And Julian Phillips has kind of been a little shaky these last few games. You know what I mean? So if it coming down to between those 3 players, I guess you got to play it close to the chest to see, like, hey, if I'm putting Julian Phillips out there, is he giving me what the team needs? And if he's not, most of those minutes can flow over to Dalen Terry, Montes Buzelis, depending on how those 3 are working or contributing to the game. It's very, very interesting. But me personally, hey, try to keep this young man on the floor. Not even going to lie to you. Try to get this man on the floor. Because though Julian Phillips and Dalen Terry look like they belong, we need the points. And it's not just going to come from 3 points. Three shooting 3-pointers in a corner for Dalen Terry and Julian Phillips. Dalen Terry knocked down a 3 yesterday. About damn time. I'm happy for him. But I think it has to be more than that. It has to be some type of aggressiveness going to the basket. Montes Buzelis last night showed all of that. So I'm hoping that the Chicago Bulls give this young fella some more opportunity. I'm interested to see how it goes. I don't necessarily believe that we're going to continuously see, we're not going to continue to see these kind of minutes be given to Montes Buzelis when guys return. But I do hope so that I hope so that I'm proven wrong. I'm going off what Billy Donovan has shown me over his tenure. I know where we don't have to take everything that he's done. Obviously, he can come on and do new things. I'm really pulling for Billy Donovan to give Montes Buzelis. But I have to go off what Billy Donovan has shown me. That's why I'm not a believer right now. But yesterday, I do commend Billy Donovan for giving Montes Buzelis the minutes, and I'm calling for more minutes. It's exciting to see him play. He provides some type of excitement that you want to see, and you say, man, just from the game last night, Montes Buzelis can really start to build the case for himself as a solid player earlier or sooner rather than later. And this is just up to Billy Donovan to give him those opportunities. Now, on the bright spot, now we got to flip over to the bad spot, the dark spot. What the hell is going on with Ayo Dosunmu, ladies and gentlemen? What is going on with him? I absolutely don't really have the answers. I mean, the defense is not terrible. The offense is there. Not all the way, though. That's been the problem. I expected more out of Ayo Dosunmu from the offensive standpoint, from the offensive side of the game to start this season. Now, we'll keep it a buck. If you look at the stats from last season, Ayo Dosunmu is one of those guys that has to get in a rhythm for what it looks like. If you go down and you look at last season, you see the point total start off a little low, and then it starts to go up as the season goes on with opportunities increasing. Those things are factor in as well. But still, even when he wasn't that starting guy at the end of the season, while he was still getting his minutes with the other guys, you still seen a guy that improved every single month. So I'm trying to see if it's just a thing that my guy got to get in rhythm. I don't know if it comes from what was being worked on before the season or during the off season. But my man, you got to get it together. On the season, The averages is not that bad when it comes to the point totals, rebounds, and assists. However, we can't have Ayo Dosunmu shooting 38% from the field. Okay, cool, fine. Not the best, not particularly the worst, but I expected better. Somewhere around 45% from Ayo Dosunmu. And when we talk about the three-point shot, one of the reasons I was kind of coming into this season like Ayo Dosunmu can help the Chicago Bulls get to the 30 wins that I placed them in, because at the end of the season, I seen my man put pressure on guys by using his driving ability and speed in transition, force guys to have to play back, and now adjust his game to where he can just come down court full speed, but then slow up, change speed, stop, and pull up for the three and knock it down to the point to where my man's was 40% from the three last season. This season, a deplorable 17% from the three, Ayo. What are we doing, my guy? I need a little bit. I need some more out of that. What is going on? I ain't saying it's time to panic or none of that. I'm not saying we should be losing our hair or trying to, do different things. But one has to ask the question, my boy, we need the offense out of you. This young team needs a productive Ayo Dosunmu. And it's not just coming at, on the defensive side. We need a little bit more on that offensive side too. And Ayo Dosunmu plays basketball well. He doesn't make too many mistakes. He absolutely knows how to fit in well around the squad. But we need them shots to be falling. He knocked down a couple threes yesterday, so it seems like, we can get this thing going. But we need a combination of hitting those shots. And when you're attempting those shots from the three, we need you to attempt those shots inside the paint. And when you get in the paint, we need you to execute at a high level for this young team to start to build together. It is early in the season. Again, no time to panic, no need to panic, but one can ask the question, Ayo, where are you, my boy? Through these games that we played, these 8 games we have played, Ayo Dosunmu has not been great. Been all right, but not great. And I ain't saying he got to be great right away, but can we get you at good? And then can we get you at awesome? And then can we get you at great? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's build this thing up, but let's get it going. You know what I'm saying? It's only 8 games. No need to panic, but we need a little bit more. That's all I'm saying. So what the hell is going on with him? Y'all let me know that down in the chat. Now, before we get up out of here, we do got to talk about tonight's game. The Chicago Bulls will face off versus the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. Yeah, it's a back-to-back game versus 2 teams from the Western Conference who be whooping butt. And the Bulls just got their butt whooped last night. I'm hoping that Zach LaVine can come out and help this young Chicago Bulls team because they need his type of scoring. But this Minnesota Timberwolves team is going to be a tough team to beat. The Chicago Bulls beat them in the preseason, but that's the preseason. These guys are going. They come in 4-3, coming off a win versus the Hornets, and they trying to find their way. And they not just going to hand anything over to the Chicago Bulls. They got Anthony Edwards over there, Julius Randle over there, a couple more other guys over there. So it's going to be essential that the Chicago Bulls do play fast. However, control the pace. Stop turning over the damn basketball. When the Bulls got high turnovers, they lose. When the Bulls keep the turnovers down, it's dubs. That's what the story of the season has told. You take care of the basketball, you get yourself to win. And so far, the Bulls took care of basketball in their 3 wins that they have on the season. And they're all wins. And in the 5 games that the Chicago Bulls lost, they turned over the ball. So protect the damn ball. And I'm interested to see what the matchups are going to look like tonight. I think that Jalen Smith and Nikola Vucevic have a tall task with the bigs that they have over there and the defensive guards and wings that they have over there. It's going to be a problem or a tough matchup for a lot of these young players that's trying to find their way because Kobe White has not been awesome either. He's been all right. Yeah. More bad than all right. You know what I'm saying? Kobe White needs to get it together. I understand that the point total still be looking decent if you look at the box score, but the efficiency is not there. It's kind of lacking. So Kobe White, I need you to get your ish together too, my boy. Still early on in the season again, so we ain't gonna panic. But I need my guys to start turning, playing a better brand of basketball. And it doesn't matter all about the wins and the losses for this particular team. I just want to see my guys start to establish themselves a little bit more. That's what it really all is about. I still got the Chicago Bulls winning about 30 games on the season. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to see my young players start to establish themselves, come out with a little more fieriness. Yeah, y'all go ahead and we gonna move on. Just come out with a little bit more effort, a little bit more efficiency. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more want to in these games, because you can't just go up. I believe the Bulls started the game off like 9-2 versus the Mavs, and then the Mavs hit shots, timeout, and then took over. And then the Bulls couldn't keep up. That's how it went all night. So against this Minnesota team, it's going to be a challenge for them as well. I know that when the Bulls do play the Minnesota Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards becomes ISO king. That typically works in the Chicago Bulls' favor. Now, I haven't really been paying too much attention to the Minnesota Timberwolves, keep it a buck with you, but I would imagine that they not going to play so much ISO ball versus the Chicago Bulls. They're going to move that thing. So the Bulls got to communicate on defense. And please, don't let Vooch get dunked on by Anthony Edwards. Please. Somebody bound to get dunked on. Please let it be somebody from the Minnesota Timberwolves. So far this season, I've seen Vooch get bodied, Kobe White get bodied. So we need hey, if you ain't known and you ain't learning from how to execute on your defensive game plan, somebody bound to go ahead and cuff them. So get your stuff together, guys. Me personally, I got the Chicago Bulls dropping another game tonight. I think it will be a better performance from the Bulls team, but I think that the Minnesota Timberwolves just got too much firepower for them. That's my prediction. You can leave your prediction down below. I think that the Bulls will play better. I just don't necessarily think they will have enough to win this game, because I don't know if Zach LaVine is going to play. If Zach LaVine plays, they still they keep it closer, but I still got the Chicago Bulls losing this. I think they still got to get some shit together. You got to get some things together. But you let me know all your predictions and everything down below. That is it for today's episode, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Before you get up out of here, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your comments down below. I appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure y'all always see red. And y'all already know I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure.
Cognac.